also the investing public and making a clear statement. ZEN is not just a company built by a few. It's a company that is owned by many.
Plus today on the Joy Business Van, we feature Ambassadors Estates, a housing development promising security and comfort. Details of these and more coming your way all in a moment. Please stay. Thanks so much for your time. I am Pious, Kojo Backah. Let's begin this way. Ghana's debt to GDP ratio will increase further to reach new levels by the end of this year. That's according to the new fiscal monetary report released by the International Monetary Fund. George Yafe reports.
The report, which was released on the sidelines of the just-ended IMF World Bank spring meetings, showed that Ghana's total debt stock as a percentage of GDP would increase from the 45.3% recorded in 2024 to hit 53% by the end of this year. It was, however, not clear for now what might be the main driver of the spike. The IMF in their report stated that government's debt and interest rate projections are based on the post-debt restructuring scenario. But for some analysts, the development could mean that government's borrowing could be going up in the coming months, or the cedi might depreciate further against the US dollar from the current rate of 3.9% ending March this year. We should also not forget about the country's growth rate dynamics, which could also affect the rate at the end of this year. All these developments, some analysts have maintained that it would impact the debt-to-GDP ratio at the end of 2026. Government, on the other hand, has maintained that it is committed to keeping the country's debt at low levels and pushing it to the sustainable band.
All right, let's explore this angle further. Let's get on to Zoom and speak with the head of finance at Merban Capital, Nelson Kojo. Thank you very much, sir, for agreeing to speak to us here on Business Live. And I know the IMF had earlier in their projection stated that Ghana's debt to GDP will fall post-DDP. Now, what specific factors are pushing it back up to 53% by 2026? We are learning.
Well, thank you very much, and thanks for having me on your program once again. Now, if you recall, in 2024, we ended the year with a total debt stock of about 726 billion Ghana cedis, and that actually represented about 61.8% of GDP. In 2025, we ended the year with 641 billion Ghana cedis, which also represented about 45.3% of GDP. It will interest you to note that that same year, somewhere September, the IMF projected Ghana's debt to GDP ratio to be around 60% end of 2025, and we achieved 45.3%. And this year, again, they are projecting that the debt to GDP ratio will be around 53%. Well, if you read the report carefully, as indicated by your presenter, there was no basis for this projection. They only mentioned that the projection was based on post-budget restructuring scenario. So it will be very difficult at this moment to actually, know the exact factors that may push the debt stock to about 53%. In any case, the whole of this year, government has borrowed about 104 billion Ghana cedis from the money market, the treasury bill market, coupled with the 2.7 billion Ghana cedis that they raised in the bond market. So from where we sit and looking at the tone and the posture and attitude of government, we think that we may not hit the 53% as been projected by the IMF.
That's interesting coming from your side. But again, the IMF programs assume Ghana returns to the market borrowing largely. Does 53% debt to GDP ratio in 2026 price out of Eurobonds largely, or would yields be manageable largely?
Well, government has not given any intention of going back to borrow from the Eurobond market or the international capital market. In fact, if you read the budget for 2026, government intends to borrow about 45 billion Ghana cedis. Out of these 45 billion Ghana cedis, about 30 billion Ghana cedis will be designated towards the big push project. And so the issue of Eurobonds or international capital market has not come to interplay here because government has no intention of going back to the international capital market. In any case, if we are to go by their projection, then it means that it will basically be related to domestic borrowing that the government will be doing.
And for you, you believe we will not achieve the 53% target they are saying, but which then means that government would have to cut the capital expenditure, raise taxes, or seek more concessional funding now to avoid hitting the 53%. Is that the case?
Not necessarily so, because I already indicated that government has no intention of bringing on board new taxes. The only thing they can do is to really look at their expenditure to see where certain expenditures are not of priority to actually cut them. However, if you look at the tone of government, even if you go to the treasury bill market, the 91-day, 182-day, and 364-day, the rates are very low because inflation is at 3.2%. And so you could see clearly that government has a well-targeted focused strategy as far as their debt management is concerned. And so for us, we believe that the 53% is not something that we will achieve because government has remained focused since the beginning of the year to actually cut down on the debt stock, reduce interest payment, and raise more domestic revenue to finance the budget.
And in the event that things doesn't go well, what are you projected? If not 53%, what are you looking at? From 45% to what? Well,
we don't foresee the debt stock going beyond 50% by the end of the year.
All right. Thank you very much, Nelson Kojo Kwagbaji. I'm always delightful to have you on, speak to us here on Business Life. Now, let's talk longer on the economy because annual growth in broad money supply decelerated to 16% in February 2026 from 33.1% in February 2025, marking a significant slowdown in liquidity expansion. Details in this report.
According to the March 2026 Monetary Policy Report by the Bank of Ghana, this outcome reflected a decline in contributions from net foreign assets, while the contributions of net domestic assets remained moderate, consistent with low liquidity creation in the banking sector. This primarily resulted in a low money circulation, affecting credit expansion and growth in the real sector of the economy. According to the report, the contribution of net foreign assets to overall liquidity growth declined to 5.7% in February 2026 compared to 27.3% a year earlier. The report said this moderation was driven by valuation effects associated with the appreciation of the cedi in 2025, which reduced the domestic currency value of foreign denominated assets. The report also stated that the contribution of net domestic assets to broad money supply growth increased to 10.3% from 5.8% in February 2025. This development was largely underpinned by the increasing net claims on government and other items.
Indigenous downstream petroleum company ZEN Petroleum Holdings PLC has listed 640 million ordinary shares in what is being described as one of the most significant capitals raised in recent years. More in this report.
ZEN Petroleum Holdings PLC has officially listed 640 million ordinary shares on the Ghana Stock Exchange, marking a major step in its growth journey. The listing comes after a successful capital raise of 640 million Ghana cedis through a book building process with shares offered at 5 cedis each, representing 20% of the company's enlarged share capital. Speaking at the listing event, Managing Director of ZEN Petroleum Holdings PLC, William Terry, described the company's listing on the Ghana Stock Exchange as a significant turning point in its growth journey.
Today's listing is not the end of that journey. It is a new phase. It reflects how far we have come and signals our readiness to build a truly enduring Ghanaian enterprise. By listing on the Ghana Stock Exchange, we're opening our doors to the investing public and making a clear statement. ZEN is not just a company built by a few. It's a company that is owned by many, and one that contributes meaningfully to Ghana's economic future.
He noted that the funds raised will support expansion across the downstream petroleum value chain, including investments in infrastructure to improve efficiency and reliability.
As we look ahead, our priorities are clear: to strengthen our position across the downstream petroleum value chain, to continue investing in infrastructure that improves efficiency and reliability, to expand opportunities for Ghanaian participation in the energy sector, and to build a business that is not only profitable but impactful.
He also reaffirmed the company's commitment to delivering long-term value to investors while contributing to Ghana's economic development.
To our investors, both present and future, we reaffirm our commitment to building a company that you can trust, one that delivers value consistently, and one that Ghanaians can be proud of. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a ZEN way. The journey continues, and we're committed to building an enduring Ghanaian enterprise that stands the test of time. With or without William Terry. Thank you. God bless.
The listing of ZEN Petroleum is expected to deepen participation on the Ghana Stock Exchange while offering investors another opportunity to tap into Ghana's growing energy sector.
The Ghana Venture Capital and Private Equity Association says it is working assiduously to get Parliament to pass the Limited Partnerships Act by the end of 2026. The Act will govern unique business structures such as venture capital financing for startups. Speaking to Joy Business ahead of the Venture Capital and Private Equity Association's 2026 conference scheduled to be held tomorrow at the Labadi Beach Hotel, Chief Executive of the association, Amajampo, highlighted the need for global regulatory standards to fast-track the growth of Ghana's SME ecosystem.
In Ghana, we're a little bit behind a lot of our more mature markets in the ecosystem across the continent, in more mature markets abroad, but we're very much pushing for the Limited Partnership Act to be passed. We're working very closely with the Interagency Committee, with the Ministry of Finance, with the Office of the Registrar of Companies, with Ghana Venture Capital Trust Fund, and of course the Ministry of Finance, which chairs the committee, to move this agenda forward on the legal front. And then of course we're looking at how we can work with our partners like EY, like Deloitte, like KPMG, to advocate for some of the tax incentives that we used to enjoy that have been eroded over time. But we understand that, you know, we are often misunderstood as an industry. With our fund managers, we're extremely disciplined with the technical expertise. Our performance has outpaced a lot of other mutual funds and fund managers that we tend to get grouped together with. So our point is that we are a very distinct technical level of fund management. And so we want a lot of the policies to reflect that and incentivize our investment into the private sector and small businesses that are growing. And so we see that as a fundamental infrastructure that we need to lay before we can actually grow as an industry. The Interagency Committee, chaired by the Ministry of Finance, is pushing and working with us to get this to a certain point. We have a lot of our members who are some of the legal firms, Stafford Law, Endona, and others who have drafted the act actually. We have a cabinet memo that's ready to go. So we're very much working now to plug some of the legislative gaps with the Ministry of Finance, with parliamentary committees to push. And so hopefully we will see an act, or at least a bill, by the end of 2026. And then we're very much pushing towards that with the Ministry of Finance and Ghana Venture Capital Trust Fund.
We have the Joy Business Fund for you after this break.
Cadbury hot chocolate. Crafted from cocoa, milk, and sugar. Creamy, chocolatey, frothy goodness, rich taste, so satisfying.
Cadbury goodness, the treat you deserve every day.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here, and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you bank like this. So have we. We've made it easier than ever to open an account online and bank on the go through our mobile app, online banking, and more. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way.
Sign here, and here.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Transform your business ideas into success stories with Telecel Business. Choose from a wide range of products and services tailor-made to drive your business. Call 0302-233-4040 or email to business@telecel.com.gh to sign up today. Telecel Business, connecting opportunities, connecting goals, connecting businesses. Telecel, connecting energies.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Business Life. Let's now take the Joy Business Van. Imagine a place where modern design, security and comfort come together to offer more than just a home, but a complete lifestyle. In today's fast-changing real estate landscape, homeowners and investors alike are searching for spaces that provide not only beauty, but also long-term value and peace of mind. That's exactly the vision behind Ambassadors Estates located at Kaswa. It's our feature today on the Joy Business Van.
The perfect home today is about more than just walls and a roof. It's about lifestyle, security, and long-term value. Today, we take you inside Ambassadors Estate located at Kaswa, a development redefining modern community living. We meet Bernice Asantu Akumi, the marketing manager, poised to show us around some of the apartments under construction. Ambassadors Estate is a thoughtfully planned residential community designed to offer a blend of luxury, comfort, and security. What makes it unique is its focus on creating not just houses, but a complete self-sustaining lifestyle environment. The inspiration behind Ambassadors Estate stems from a growing demand for organized, secure, and modern residential spaces.
Mostly in Ghana, we have this hot weather, and sometimes you need to, you want a place that has, the sun is always not that shiny, it's not so strong and everything. So we chose this area because it's near the coastal side, of Accra. So the breeze and then the calm and quiet around this place, that's why we chose this area too.
But how far apart is this estate from, residential areas, like trying to get access to the airport, other communities, places of convenience like hospitals?
Yes.
Tell me more about it.
Okay, so this place is not so far. It's not so far from the roadside, which makes transportation very easy. You do not have to stress or go through too much in order to get to a location. Do you get it? And also there are hospitals all around this place, right from the top to down here. And also the market space is not far from this place as well. Then talking about easy accessibility to the roadside, you would easily get a car from the roadside to wherever that you are going to.
The estate is carefully planned with modern urban design principles, combining aesthetics with functionality. Comfort and security are the heart of the ambassador's estate.
So over here, we made it not for commercial use, but then for personal residential use. And so we have the 2-bedroom, we have the 3-bedroom, and we have the 4-bedroom. The 2-bedroom is about 60 by 50.
So where we are currently
is a 3-bedroom, is a 60 by 70. Yes, and then we have the 4-bedroom, that's the duplex, going for is 90 by 80. Yes, 90 by 80. So over here, this 3-bedroom, we have luxurious parking spaces. Like we have big parking spaces for anybody that is. If you have cars, you don't have to be worried about where to park. Also, we have the side demarcated for people who have children and would want to, have their small playground for them. We have that side as well. Also, we have made it disability convenient. So if anybody has a disabled person they would be living with, it wouldn't be difficult to get them in and out of their house. And also, we have self-meter for every building. We have safe water flowing for every building as well. And then we have fitted kitchens also. Then there's premium security as well, right from the entrance and all over the estate.
What sets Ambassador's estate apart is its balance of affordability, quality, and infrastructure. But how affordable are the apartments and what are the terms of payments?
This should be everybody's one-stop. It should be everybody's one-stop because here we are giving you luxury and we are giving you affordability. We are very concerned about making sure that the way you moved into this place is how it's going to be. We are concerned about your maintenance as well. So what makes us very different also is our prices. Mostly you have to do a full 100% payment in order to move into a space. But over here, we give you the chance to move in after you have made 70% payment. So once everything goes well in terms of the terms and conditions that are applied, you can easily move in without having to stress. And then the 30% payment you have to make afterwards is being spread according to a certain plan, which means you don't have to empty your account in order to own a home or be in a space. Come to think of it, if you are having to empty your account in order to get a place to live, when you know you have other things to pay for, other bills to pay and all of that, that means that it's going to drain you. But over here, 70%, think about it, 70%, and then you get to move in.
Okay.
You have your peace of mind. Right. Nobody comes to you trying to take any money from you afterwards. You are just going to move in, and the 30%, you make that payment through a certain plan.
Ambassador's estate is more than a development. It's a growing community. The vision for Ambassador's estate extends well into the future.
Like you can already see the finished part is not, we are not trying to give bare minimum. So as you can already see the finished part looking very good. We intend to advance the other sides that are not yet finished. So the plan is to make sure that by the time we are done with all those sides, we bring in new amenities that will improve the place. Some of the unfinished places would have store areas for storage of stuff that people do not want to keep in their open spaces. Yes, so I think the plan is to bring more advancements, not to stick with what we already have.
For those seeking a modern, secure, and rewarding place to live or invest, Ambassador's Estates present a compelling choice.
Now, stakeholders in the insurance sector have begun conversations to get products developed around cybersecurity to protect the digital space. The move is to ensure businesses that operate online are safeguarded in the unlikely event of a cyber attack. Here's a report on an insurance roundtable organized by the Chamber of Commerce and Industries France, Ghana.
The Insurance Roundtable, under the theme Strengthening Business Resilience Through Innovative Insurance Solutions in Ghana, aims at highlighting the country's business climate and how insurance can thrive. During the panel discussion, stakeholders believe Ghana's insurance market has developed and is capable of having products to support cybersecurity as a result of the high number of reported cyber crimes on businesses. Here's William Wood of Wood & Associates Insurance Brokers.
Cybersecurity is a very lowly patronized product, and it's because people just don't understand it. The multinationals and the large organizations understand what cybersecurity is. When you dump it down and bring it down to your middle level, to your low level, there's no understanding of cybersecurity. Do I believe that the market is ready? Yes. As Shaibu said, we can get insurance even for a spacecraft. But is the market ready to look at the local conditions? Are all the players ready to play their part? Because again, millions are lost. Over 23.3 billion. Is that what you said? Million was lost as reported by the BOG. And this is what has been reported. So imagine the other cases that have not been reported where we'll be able to actually understand the holistic view of our market.
Mohammed Hafiz Isaku of the National Insurance Commission hinted of plans by the regulator to sanitize the industry and introduce innovative products for sector players.
As a regulator, the NIC is focused at ensuring that we create an enabling environment that would allow for inclusive insurance to take center stage in a way that will grow the market. So at the start of 2025, the NIC set out as its strategic imperatives 3 main pillars. One of it is sanitizing the insurance market. By sanitizing the market, the aim of the regulator is to ensure that there is fidelity to persons who purchase insurance.
Managing Director of the Chamber of Commerce and Industries France Ghana, Maxine Randolph Pate, told Joy Business that such platforms are provided to update members on some regulatory changes in the business environment.
So this is actually the first edition of the CCIFG Insurance Roundtable. And of course, as a Chamber of Commerce and Industry, our overall goal is to keep our members updated in terms of the evolutions in local regulation and of course the business climate. So of course, in terms of risk management, we are looking at, first of all, building investor confidence. So we're looking at the insurance sector as one of the, I would say, safeguards for private sector businesses. And this is what our members need to be updated on. We have evolutions in 2026 in terms of the GIPC bill. And of course, how does this impact the private sector? And how do companies make sure that they're insured adequately? So thank you very much for, first of all, featuring us on the...
Thank you.
The insurance round.
That's it for Business Live for today. I am Pious, Kojo, Backah. See you at 8 p.m. with Prime Business.
Did you know that some videos circulating on social media force...
Water is life, but in many communities in the 5 regions of the north, water is a luxury. According to Ghana's latest population and housing census, more than 32% of households in the northern region lack access to basic drinking water. In Upper East, it's even worse, nearly 34%. This means 1 out of every 3 families relies on unsafe and distant sources to survive.
The daughters complain of the source of water, but we have no option.
Sanso we ya na edi aduane sanso we ya na enum ono na edi sini ma mmoa no so saa ya sere saa ban no se won boa e o nsuo mu kro o mu mfie.
Water in this part of the country is not a right. It is a daily battle fought by citizens. Despite years of promises and millions in investment, safe water remains a dream. The One Village, One Dam project was meant to fix this, but many dams are shallow, broken, and never worked at all. What was promised as hope now feels like betrayal.
We are doing 560 for a start, and it's up to 2020. I believe by early next year, all these dams will